Right, there we go. We started. Hello. How are you guys doing today? Beautiful. So today in this video I'm going to show you guys how if-thens work. Usually on my channel I do building stuff, but recently I have started to do programming stuff. So basically what we're going to do is first you're going to want to get into your Roblox studio. And once you're in there, and if you don't know how to get into there, I can actually real quickly show you. Let me see if I can switch my capture or just pull my capture. Anything set? Yeah. There we go. So how you get to your Roblox studio is if you're on your home page like this. I know, lots of games and stuff. Is you go to your home and then you go to create. Super laggy. And once you're in create, you're automatically at your studio page and you can create a new game, or if you already have a game created, you just click edit and you'll be right where I am. So let me get this thing out of here. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Sorry, it takes me a sec to move my page across my screens. And there we go. And once you've edited your new game that you created, or a game that you already had created, you'll be where I am. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make a block. And there's many different ways to make a block. If you guys have the F3X plugin, we can just open that up and add a block like this. Or if you don't have the F3X plugin, let me go ahead and close that. You can add a block with the normal tools, which is actually sometimes really confusing to do. So let me find that. You go to model, see where it says model up there, and then you go to part. And you just click on that, and it added a part in the color I had selected. I'm going to change its color to like a white. I don't really like that white, so I'm going to try and find the normal, like gray. I like the normal Roblox gray, I don't know why. There we go. And next we're going to drag it to where we want to set up. And I'm going to set it over here. And I'm going to delete that other thing. And now I'm just going to resize it. And the Resize tool is called the Scale tool in the editor up here. It's like a little square with an arrow in it. Just go ahead and just slowly resize it. And we're going to make it look sort of like a big rectangle cube thing. And we're going to rename this computer, right? Like that, computer. And then we're going to put it in a group. And how you put it in a group is you can right click it on it in workspace. This is called the workspace. Or you can right click on it in this bar over here. I don't actually really, oh, it's called the Explorer. I've actually never really noticed that. And then you can go ahead and click group on that little bar that shows up like this. Next, we're just going to rename this model Bob, just to keep it simple, because I already have something else named group. And now we're going to group, once again, the computer block into a group named computer. See how I did that? Yeah. Can undo it by yanking it out and deleting the group. Right click on the computer block inside of Bob, almost called it blob, and group it. Right here's the little group thing. And rename it computer. Then what you're going to want to do is right click on the computer block and insert an object. And you want to insert a script. And rename the script by right clicking on it and clicking rename. Rename your script program. And then just clear out the program here because it will automatically open itself. And then just close up all those things by clicking on these little arrows. And then the next step will be that we're going to add another group. And how we're going to do that is instead of like making another block and grouping it up and yanking it in, is we're going to copy computer, so we're just going to right click on it, click copy, right click on Bob and hit paste into, and then we're going to click this little arrow by computer, this duplicate of computer, and not delete computer out of there, but we're going to delete the program out of the duplicate computer and rename this computer part 1, and then rename this group that's named computer parts. Now you have a group named parts with part 1 in it, and a group named computer with your computer and your program in it. And now what you want to do is you want to move your part off the top of your computer, because you want to be able to see what's going on with your parts as they change, because we're going to program the computer to change how the parts move or do stuff with the parts. I know that was very poorly explained, but that is what we're going to do. Now I'm just going to sort of change the shape of my part 1 and recolor it. I'm going to color it blue. And I'm just going to keep resizing a little bit till I feel comfortable with its size. And then what we're going to go ahead and do here is duplicate part 1. And how you do that is you right click on it over here in the Explorer, and you click duplicate or duplicate, and then rename it part 2, and then color it green. Then use your move tool up here on this bar to move it out of part 1, and you can leave them right next to each other, and just set them right there, and make sure that part 2 is still inside of the parts group, otherwise your program's not going to work. And now we're just going to make sure all the groups inside of Bob are set up right, otherwise once again your program's not going to work, because computers only work one way, and that's their way. So it looks like everything's set up right. Now I'm going to go over to my test model I did earlier and copy my program so I can explain it to you guys, because Roblox doesn't have a perfect autofill for commands. And then I'll go ahead and explain what this code does. So now that I've copied my program, I'm going to go ahead and paste it in here and show you. Your program always goes in your computer block. It just makes it easier to organize your program. And you always want to do your program in blocks. And I'll show you what I mean by that. See how I have my program sort of like in this cube, how I have the text here, and then I have this green text around it. A computer reads from top to bottom. So that means that the program's going to start on line 1 and go down to line 17. And if you put your program in these cubes, it will make it easier for you to reuse programs. That's pretty much the gist of that. And I'll show you more of what I mean here in a second. But now we're going to get to actually building the program. So, the first step to making the program actually work is finding all the pieces. So, we're going to go up to the top here, and we have to tell the computer where our parts are. So, type in part 1 equal script, and Roblox will autofill your command. Parent, 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 let's see if it already found it, parts, and then part 1. And you can just scroll through the list till you find your part. And there you go, now you have your first one, and we can actually test. And I'll explain what this code down here does, but first I'm going to put our path. That's what they usually call this, as a path, because what this program does is it finds our pieces. So over here in our Explorer, you remember this little model we made with this group we made with our pieces, what the program is doing, if I can I bust it off of here? Sometimes Roblox lets you do that. Give me 1 second, see if Roblox will let me do this or if it will break the whole program. No. So basically, what this little program here is doing is it's saying, go up a level, right? So from the program, it's going up a level to computer. It's going up a level to computer 2, going up a level to Bob, and going down to parts, and going down to part 1. But now, what it's going to do is we're going to make this blue block, part 1, invisible, like this. And we're also going to make our green part invisible like this. And how I did that is I have properties open. If you don't have properties open, you go to View, and you turn properties on right there. And I don't know why Roblox did that, but we have to make sure that we can still see our script. Now, then, what the program does is it will read down from here, as I told you guys before, line by line, like this. And when it gets to this block of code, it knows automatically to ignore this, because when you do dash dash, anything typed after that, the computer ignores. But when it gets to this text here, if part 1, right, see we have part 1 found, which you guys know what part 1 is. Part 1 is transparency equal 1, which means it's invisible. As you can see, we've made it invisible. Then it's going to do part 1, make it visible. And you can watch here, and I'm going to make it easier for us to see that by making it wait, and I'll show you what that command is. Wait 5, and it's easier to make it wait 10 so we can actually see it. And then I'm going to move my spawn point. I have a spawn point over here, so we can see what happens. And then I'm going to re-explain that, because it can be confusing because of just how simple it is. Sometimes simple things can be confusing. So now we will wait for it to happen. There it is. See how the computer made it visible. So, basically this first line of text, only if Roblox wouldn't poop itself every time I move the script around, but this first line of text, all it does is define or find what part 1 is. So this is part 1, and you guys all know what it is. It's a block in our workspace. And this word here is just a word, but the equal says that this line that finds part 1 makes this word part 1. Then this just tells it to wait. That's clear. It's like a clock. And then this is the actual if-then statement, right? So if part 1's invisible, then make part 1 visible. Which you guys just saw, but I'll show you again. And then I'll show you how we can make one event make a lot of events happen, which is boring but interesting. Watch as it happens. It took me a long time to figure out how to get this to happen. See? It's great, isn't it? It's beautiful. It's an achievement, isn't it? No, I'm lying. You're all bored already. So, next, we can make more than one block appear based on one event. So, now we have to define or get our next thing. So we can just copy our first thing. I'm going to tell this thing that it's the master, because it just makes it easier for me to be organized. The more organized you can make your program, the easier you can understand it, and the easier other people can understand it. I just organize my programs so that I can understand them in the future, because sometimes you write a program and like a month later you read it and you have no idea what it does. And that's horrible. Now you go ahead and paste this. Remember, we copied this. Make sure to copy it and then paste it. And then rename part 1 right here to part 2. And then rename part 1 right here at the end, part 2. And basically what that does is that's getting part 2 from our parts group. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go down to our do part 1 block, and we're going to copy it, and we're just going to make a few spaces in our line of script, paste our copied do part 1, rename it do part 2, and then tell this what to do. So what we want this to do is make part 2 appear when part 1 appears. And what it means to be visible in Roblox is to be in the state of 0. That means something has appeared. So when, or you can't say when because computers aren't programmed to know what when means, which is confusing and dumb. So we have to read it how the computer reads it, which is if part 1 is transparency, change it from 1 to 0, which means if part 1 is visible, not invisible anymore, then do part 2 visible. And we'll go ahead and add a timer so we can see the transformation happen. So say wait 10, and you'll be able to see it. And I'll go ahead and show you how this happens. Now we will see the blue block appear, and then the green block will appear. You can use this to program like a door, like if you stand in a certain area, when player in area, then open door. But remember to replace the when with an if, because when and if in my mind are the same thing. So as you can see, both appeared, and our program works. And that's all for now. Thank you for watching.